Hello and welcome everyone to the Thermographic Diagnostic Imaging and Health Through Awareness webinar. My name is Leisha Getson and I will be your host. Before we begin, just a little housekeeping. The presentation will be about 50 to 60 minutes followed by Q&A. You should be able to hear me and the speaker as well as follow the PowerPoint presentation. To the right of your screen you will see a chat box. If you have a question, type it in and submit it. We will get to as many questions as possible at the end of the presentation. If for some reason you get cut off from the webinar, you'll be able to log back in and fast forward to catch up. Also, all of the presentations will be archived and can be found on our website under TDINJ under the News and Media heading. So let's get started. I'm very delighted to introduce our speaker tonight, Elsie Kerns. Elsie is a Eden Energy Medicine Advanced Practitioner. She's a stress specialist, teacher, speaker, and author who has a passion for empowering effective, time-efficient, and affordable energy practices for vibrant health and longevity. She offers private sessions, educational workshops, teleseminars, and worksite wellness. Elsie is also a co-founder of the Wellness Workers, successfully serving the tri-state community since 1995. And just from a personal standpoint, Elsie, in addition to doing my Reiki Master Attunements, has guided me through some very difficult situations. She just has a wonderful way of getting right to the heart of the matter while providing tools for self-empowerment. And when I think about Elsie, I think there are lots of energy healers out there, but I always say Elsie is the real deal, and I just highly recommend her services, and she's just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And so, Elsie, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Leisha, for that wonderful introduction and your personal endorsement. That was great to hear. I'm really excited to be with everyone tonight because I love talking about health and vitality, a way that we can gain that through stress reduction and using energy medicine. So if we think about what actually is stress, this next slide says that it is actually the struggle to resolve emotionally time-sensitive issues sanely. And that is a big issue that we have today because we're under more stress than ever before. Alicia, can you see that whole slide?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, great. So again, we see this gal racing against the clock, and this seems to be the story of our lives out there, racing against the clock. Everyone is aware of the fact that time is moving faster than it ever has before. So we are just struggling, again, to try to resolve things, and most of them are, emotional in nature and time sensitive, whether they're situations with our spouse, at work, with our children, in the community. And in addition to all of that, all we have to do is look at the 5 o'clock news. And that really can send us into a tailspin.
That's for sure.
So one of the questions I want to start out asking is, how much does this glass of water weigh? How much would we say that that glass weighs? And the answer to that actually depends on how long you're holding that glass. So if we're just holding the glass for a few minutes, normally drinking it, that works out fine. But if we try to hold a glass for, say, a half an hour with water in it, after a while our arm would start to ache. We would feel very, very uncomfortable. And so this very same principle applies to, how you hold your stress. So when we're looking at this, once again, the more that we hold our stress, the more stress that builds up, the harder it is for us to let go and to relax. But we have some alternatives today, and that is mind-body wellness. And one of the things that we want to point out tonight is that mind-body wellness is complementary, not alternative. It is meant to integrate with whatever traditionally we need, medication, therapy. And today, in almost all of your complementary care centers across the country of major hospitals, they are offering things like relaxation, mindfulness-based stress reduction, meditation, acupuncture, massage, music therapy, and all of these things can help us with stress, and in particular, going through a difficult illness.
I'm so glad you made that distinction, Elsie, that it is complementary and not alternative, and we are seeing these integrated in hospitals and all over different places now, so it's really nice to see it's coming to the forefront.
Well, not only is it coming to the forefront, but the insurance companies have to realize how much money this would save if we could help somebody move through an illness with less medication, less pain, less discomfort. So all of these things have their place, and we need to find what works for us as an individual. So, for instance, yoga, that's a wonderful way to stretch out the body. The body really needs to stretch out so that it has space for things to move. Prayer, we know, is something that we all do in our own way based on our culture and religious upbringing. And that EFT tapping, that stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. Very powerful, and it's being used a lot with the veterans returning from war or people struggling with phobias, anxiety. The reason that emotional freedom tapping and other forms of tapping are so successful is because that fight or flight, it's kind of hard to say sneak past it, but primitive man actually tapped himself, he rocked himself. So that primitive mechanism of fight or flight doesn't throw off the alarm bell when we're tapping. Consequently, they have found this to be very, very effective for people. Shiatsu, of course, is great because you don't have to take off your clothes. You just wear comfortable clothes. Again, it stretches out all the meridians which aid the organs and provide deep tissue relaxation. And of course, acupuncture, we mentioned, aromatherapy is wonderful. And these are all ways that we can use today to prevent burnout. Now, Leisha, I know I have experienced this at TDI. You have that wonderful pod.
Yes, right. And so the pod will, looking at your list here, the pod offers vibratory massage. It offers aromatherapy, oxygen therapy, music therapy, not to mention the infrared heat itself. So that's a wonderful, and actually I try to get in there. During the winter, I try to get in there at least once a week for a little de-stressing and meditation time. And I recently tried this EFT tapping, and I had a powerful experience with that.
Yes, it is powerful. And I just want to remind everybody out there that Mother's Day is not far away. So you could get her a pod session. She just has to bring her comfy clothes and slip into, you almost feel like you're slipping into a spaceship.
Yes, that's true. Our pod people come out reborn out of the pod.
Yeah, really great.
Thank you for that, Elsie.
Okay, so I stole this picture from your website.
I thought it looked familiar.
Energy is all there is, and that's Albert Einstein's famous quote. And you know, when Albert Einstein actually discovered quantum physics, and he took us into that quantum physics energy, at that time he did not have the vocabulary and the words for it the way that we do today. So he just didn't know quite how to describe it, but today in this 21st century, we realize that we are living in this quantum field, in this quantum energy. And one of the reasons that I'm talking about energy medicine tonight is because it's very empowering, and it's something that you can use 24/7 to help yourself. And again, it's something you're going to need to use every day on a daily basis. We have a wonderful daily energy routine that includes, tapping the body on different key points and just massaging, opening up the lymphatic system, a number of ways that help us just maintain vibrant health. But again, the reason that I so love studying with Donna Eden and continue to study with her is because these techniques that she has put together are so easy to teach others and to let someone be empowered with that, and we're going to look at more specific ones this evening. And I'm going to try to go back here and see if I skipped a slide. No, I can't get that. Ah, here it is. Whoops. Let me come down again. Whoop. Okay. Okay, here's the slide I wanted to bring back up. And that is, when talking about quantum physics, it's helpful for us to realize that our traditional medical system uses energy, CAT scans, MRIs, magnetic resonance imaging, lasers. For instance, magnetic resonance imaging works because we are electromagnetic beings. All of these tests work with energy. The same is true of our iPods, our iPhones, our cell phones. And if we start to look at everything as vibration, we're clearly aware of the fact that there are good vibes and bad vibes, or healthy vibes and unhealthy vibes. And if we begin to just feel and sense everything around us as vibration, we become more aware of that, and then we can make healthier choices about what we want to have in our life.
So we can, in a very real sense, set up good vibrations or bad vibrations by our thoughts. Energy follows our thoughts, and so what you're thinking is actually a creative force.
Absolutely, your thoughts are energy, no question about it. So and what's equally interesting is that when we smile, the brain doesn't know if we're really happy or not, but it lights up, it thinks we're happy. So
that old fake it till you make it saying is true, right?
Yeah. So let me go down here and see if I can get to the next. So the next slide I wanted to talk about, because this is really important today, it's about healing. And healing is not curing. Healing is prevention-oriented. It is not crisis-oriented. And it's actually a lifelong process. So we are used to, in our culture, of looking for that magic bullet. That's just something we've all grown up with. And we are at a point now where we realize that there is no magic bullet. That doesn't mean that we still don't look for it, but to get a broader understanding of what really healing is, because our medical system has been effective at curing some things, but healing ourselves is that lifelong practice that we need to remember. Today, one of our struggles is that we are living so much longer than we ever have before, that our struggle is with chronic illness. We have the most wonderful advanced technology available to us. Certainly, if we are in an auto accident or we have some kind of trauma, we want to get to a trauma center where we're going to get the best possible care. But on an everyday basis, we need to work on our healing and realize that it encompasses, our diet, our exercises, the choices that we make in our life. So it is absolutely a lifelong process. And I remind people that an individual can die and be healed, but not cured.
Yes, yes, yes. I see the
So
distinction.
that's really helpful for us to remember.
Yeah. Elsie, could you say that one more time, please?
Sure. That to help us understand healing even further is that an individual can die and be healed, but not cured.
Wow.
So
yes,
very important.
Yes, yes. And it's interesting when you talk about cure versus healing. So, for instance, somebody with cancer, maybe they have had a remission, but many times the cancer will come back in another place. And I think part of the reason might be is because not necessarily that they were cured but put in remission, but the healing didn't occur. So whatever emotional issue that could have started that disease process in the first place was never addressed. And so while the cure may happen, the healing doesn't occur because it just kind of gets, we move on to our next thing. And healing takes time and it takes work.
Yeah, absolutely, Leisha. And today we seem to be dealing with serious illness with people younger and younger also.
Yes.
I think you would agree with that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's really something.
So before I go too much further, I just see that Donna is asking about a tapping class. Could that be offered? And absolutely, Donna. Leisha and I will talk about that and get back to you. So before we left the EFT and tapping too far, I just wanted to let her know that we saw that question.
Okay. That would be a great class.
Okay. All right. So this slide encourages us to protect your body's personal homeland security system, and that happens to be your immune system. So today our immune system is being assaulted by, first of all, artificial electromagnetic energy. If we realize that in the last 50 years we have been exposed to more artificial electromagnetic energy than ever before. Cell phones,
I think Elsie, that is right now the biggest form of pollution.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and that immune system is our protector. So again, everything around us is, constantly assaulting us. Even our food. We're now looking at all the genetically modified food out there. So we want to look at ways that we can help that immune system stay strong, because that's our gate, that's our protective gate. So Leisha, do you have anything else you want to say about the immune system?
Well, just what you're saying. It's so important. We're inundated, as you said, living 24/7 lives. our thyroid, so much thyroid dysfunction, so much adrenal fatigue going on. Those two things are connected. They're hormones, and people are trying to get their hormones balanced. And as Ben told us last month, you can't get your hormones balanced until you get your thyroid and your adrenal balanced. And that's the starting point. As far as your immune system, you've got to do everything you can to protect it. So you mentioned GMO. Yeah, you don't want to be eating what they're calling Franken food. You need to be eating real food, organic if possible, getting nutrient-dense foods into your cells so that you can create a strong immune system. Drinking proper hydration, getting proper rest, proper relaxation, stress reduction, all of those things. So important.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And before I go on, I just want to address Josephine's question, because she said that she didn't understand that sentence that I just said, that someone could die and be healed but not cured. So what I'm going to go back and just to help Josephine understand what I mean by that is that a person can go through the dying process. They can be healed through the dying process with, issues around their family, around their own personal, emotional self, and they can receive a lot of healing from family, friends, and unusual things that happen through that dying process. So they can be healed moving on into the next world, but not cured of the illness that took them out of this world. So I hope that's a little bit clearer for Josephine. If not, Josephine would be happy to clarify it after the show here. So moving on, here, trying to bring up slide 10. So we're actually going to look at ways now to work with the immune system. And so the first thing I'm going to ask is, what does your stress feel like? And we were just talking about all the problems with the immune system based on this 24/7, as Leisha said, life that we're living, frequent colds and allergies, the viruses. We also, unfortunately, now have these superbugs. So because of the overuse of antibiotics, we have all these superbugs out there. And what we thought would work in the past, or what we hope would work with the antibiotics, no longer works. So one of the first ideas that I put up here is to try the wrist twist. And this will boost key energy points for us around the wrist. Before I talk about this any further, I want to let everybody know that I've done a short video that we're going to send in the replay link. And I'm actually demonstrating all of these things I'm going to talk about tonight, so you'll actually see them in action. But when we talk about the wrist twist, we're just going to take our left hand, for example, and we're going to wrap it around our wrist. And then we're just going to twist our wrist within our left hand. And just that simple action works with key energy points on the lung, on circulation, on heart, on small intestine, large intestine. So just that simple action can boost those key energy points. Then we change and take our right hand, wrap it around the left wrist, and do the same thing. And this only takes a few minutes. We could do it while we're watching the news, or
or don't watch the news.
Right. Or, while we're watching a show, or during those crazy commercials. Let's do something productive. So again, just grabbing your wrist, twisting around with the other hand, just that simple, hits those major key points for us.
And it really feels good.
Yes, it does feel good. Then when we look at low energy and chronic fatigue, Lisa, you just pointed out how, when that immune system gets run down, it's because the adrenals have been, running overtime. The thymus, which also works with our immune system, and the spleen. So we have really reservoirs of energy here that we can use to support these vital organs. If you go to the middle of your chest, right there, and you just tap, you're hitting the thymus. And the thymus, actually, if someone arrives at the hospital unconscious, they begin tapping the thymus to see if they can bring that person back to consciousness, see if they know who they are, what their name is, etc. But the thymus is where we make those fabulous T cells. So just something as simple as tapping the thymus wakes it up, supports it. If you feel like you're coming down with a cold or you're just feeling tired, tapping that thymus will begin to wake things up. Also, with the adrenals, we know that the adrenals sit on top of the kidneys, and they're what trigger our fight or flight mechanism. So the adrenals can get exhausted pretty easily, and that's where we wind up with chronic fatigue. And if those adrenals are drained, we're not moving because they're one of our main energy sources. So if we just go back, reach back to the kidney and adrenals and gently massage that area and take a moment to support them, to just say, hey, I just want to give you a 1-minute massage of support for all the ways that you're helping me stay strong. Something, again, that gentle and loving. We usually don't think about our body until we get into pain, and then we pay attention to it. So let's add a little love and support to it before we get into pain.
Yeah, the things that focus. Excuse me, Elsie. Two of the things that you just said, like, I'm doing it as you're saying it, and just massaging the adrenals. It feels like, okay, when I get up from my desk and I stretch my back, it's an instinctual thing to kind of put my thumbs back there and give a little rub.
Right.
Same as wringing your wrists. Like when people are upset, what do? They kind of take their hands and they might twist their hands, and so these are kind of, it seems like instinctual things that we must know intuitively to do.
Absolutely, and if we're, even if we take our knuckles back there, and if we just massage that with a little love, I mean, love does so much for us, we forget about loving some of the parts of our body that need the support the most.
That's sure, very true.
So I want to focus on the spleen because she is our mother organ. She's the great metabolizer. In Chinese medicine, she's a yin feminine organ, and she is working all the time to metabolize our food, our feelings, our thoughts, emotions. She balances blood chemistry, but the most important thing she does for us is fight infection. And of course, she's a vital part of one's immune system in both Eastern and Western medicine. So in our traditional Western medicine, we no longer take out spleens unless it is absolutely necessary, because we found out over time that an individual could not fight infection effectively without that spleen. So we're going to use tapping, and we can also use tracing. But we can use tapping very effectively to just help support the spleen. And what often happens is that when people begin tapping these two areas, they find out that they're a little bit tender. And that simply means that we need to support them even more. It means that they need our help.
Elsie, can you just, Donna asked, where can I locate the adrenals? Can you just, again, tell us where that is?
Yes, I just saw that from Donna. So let me just finish with the spleen, and then we'll go back to that, okay?
Okay.
If we go right over the breast to the first rib with both hands and tap there on each side of the body, we're hitting the neurolymphatic reflex points for spleen. Now, remember that our lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like our heart does to move the blood through us. So our lymphatic system depends on us to move to work those lymphatics. So here we're going in, we drop right below the breast to that first rib, tap or massage those points for the spleen. And then we're just going to stay right on that first rib, and we're going to slide over to each end right underneath the armpit there at the end of the rib cage, and we're going to tap spleen 21. You'll see it on the diagram on the slide. And we're going to tap on both sides of the body, even though the spleen is on the left side. We're tapping on both sides because the meridians run bilaterally. So by tapping this, we help to move toxins. We strengthen the spleen. And again, this organ fights infection for us. So when anybody has to have a procedure done, there's more concern now about infection sometimes than the procedure itself.
Yes.
So again, just tapping these points, and notice if they're tender. So if they're tender, it's just telling us that they need some more help.
Mine are tender.
Yeah. Usually by the end of the day, they're a little bit tender. So again, just going over the breast on both sides to that first rib, massaging or tapping, sliding over underneath the armpit there to the end of the rib cage, spleen 21, massaging that area really helps. We can also trace spleen. That begins at the outside of the big toe, and it comes right up, all the way up the inside of the legs, as you can see on the diagram, up underneath the armpit, and down right to where that rib cage ends. And when we trace spleen, we're going to do it on both sides at the same time. And we're going to say, I nourish myself with love. So again, just very easy to do, starting at the outside of the big toe, both hands on the right and left outside of the big toe, following up the inside all the way up underneath the armpit, coming down to the end of the rib cage, buzzing spleen 21, I nourish myself with love. Okay, so just to go back before we move on to the next slide to Donna's question, Jill also popped in here and helped us answer that as well. The adrenals sit right on top of the kidneys. So if you take your hands and put them right on your waist and you slide around to the back of your waist and just have your knuckles right there will be sitting by the kidney and adrenals, and you can just massage them. And as we suggested a few minutes ago, bringing in love. So I hope that helps everybody be a little bit more clear about where they are. So when we go to the next slide, we're going to talk about what your stress feels like if you have constriction at the diaphragm. We all have those shoulders of steel, right? Neck,
Or up around our ears, yes.
right, neck and low back pain. One of the things I demonstrate on the video, and I'm going to mention here, is that one way to help that is to simply stretch it out. So if we bring our palms together right in front of our heart, and then we push one palm up to the heavens and the other palm into the earth, and we stretch the body out as far as we can comfortably go. We take a deep breath in as we're stretching, hold it, let it go. Come back to prayer position, and then stretch the other way, stretch the other side, deep breath in, hold it, and let it go. And then we're going to keep doing that 4 to 5 times on each side, just to kind of stretch out the body. It'll open up the diaphragm, and it'll give space in the body for the energy to move. Remember, in Chinese medicine and in acupuncture, part of the concept is that wherever energy is trapped, where there's too much or not enough, we can tend to have physical issues. So acupuncture goes in to those places where the energy is stuck, and with those very fine needles begins to open up that meridian so the energy can once again flow. And this may sound a little crazy, but believe me, it works. The hairbrush tap. So I keep an extra hairbrush in my desk at work and the one here at home, and I just get those nice hard bristled ones from Walmart, and you take that hairbrush, and with the bristles you brush across, tapping your shoulders on each side. And you would be amazed at how wonderful that feels. If you do that every day, what it helps to do is keep that energy from building up so much on the shoulders. So stretching it out and that hairbrush tap are really, really wonderful for the body. Remember, these are easy things.
Yeah. Elsie, so you're saying just take the hairbrush and run on the bristle side across your shoulders?
Yes, you just take the bristle side, tap all across your shoulders on each side, and it absolutely feels wonderful. It wakes up your energy, and it actually, in the concept of energy at the shoulders, because we hold our energy up so much, we notice every now and then that our shoulders are way up by our neck. And when we realize that, we tend to say, oh my gosh, we let them drop. So it's a gradual buildup, and it also, of course, affects the neck and the low back. So just using that hairbrush every day or a couple times a day, it just releases that tension that then turns into like steel shoulders.
That's a great tip.
Let me move on here.
Okay.
How does your stress feel like with poor digestion, headaches, and migraines? So once again, we just said this, we hold so much energy in our head. Not only do we hold so much energy in our head thinking and, you know, on the computer and balancing our checkbook and all those things, but, you know, we just tend today to live in our head, and that voice of inner judgment, I call it the dragon, is also following us around all day long, asking us if we're good enough. Did you do that okay? What will somebody think about that? Just that constant judgment following us. So one of the wonderful ways to release head tension, and if you're somebody who struggles with headaches or migraines, I would suggest you do this every day. This is called the crown pull, and it's very easy to do. And again, I demonstrated this on the video, but I'm going to go to the next slide where you'll actually see me doing it on the slide. You're going to take your fingertips and you're going to start at the top of the hairline. You're going to press in deep. You want to really feel this. And you're going to pull open. Imagine you're open the cranium and you're letting out all of the tension, all of the extra thinking, opening this up all the way down the head, all the way to the very back of the neck and pulling off. So this helps to clear and freshen your mind. It's going to sharpen your memory. It opens you to some inspiration from the universe. So you're going to start at the top of the head, press in, pull open, and you want to really feel this. Want to really feel it. You're going to go all the way down the head, all the way to the back of the neck, and pull off. And you're going to do this at least 3 times to help open the head. And it usually feels very good.
Elsie, can I interrupt you for just a moment?
Sure.
I've lost the PowerPoint on my computer here. I don't know if you need to hit the screen share again or if anybody else can say whether or not they've lost the PowerPoint.
Okay, my PowerPoint is still showing.
Okay. Now somebody just said...
yeah, data set slides not showing. Okay, so let me go out like we did earlier. And I'll come back in.
Okay. Going back out to, of course, I'm asking Philip, our webinar.
Here I am.
Now we see you.
Share.
And I can see you, Elsie.
Share. You can see me, right? Okay, I just hit that again. Are you seeing it up? I see it across the top, but not. It doesn't look. It says you are screen sharing, but I don't see the slides. Do you?
No, we don't. I don't see the slides, and somebody else just said that the slides are not.
Okay, well, just hang on, everybody.
Sure. Yep, we'll figure it out. Do you have any suggestions?
Let's see.
No, it should happen.
Just a little.
Can she see it on her end?
Technical difficulty here. Stop. Okay. Okay. Let me go back. If I can get this. Trying to figure this out. Slideshow. Okay, are we back?
No, Elsie, we're still seeing you. Do you have your? Do you see the PowerPoint on your screen?
Okay, now is it back?
Now we have a black screen again. Now we're back. We're back.
Okay, that's what I thought. I've got it back.
All right, girl.
Okay, so now I want everybody on this webinar to know and realize that just now I stayed very calm. because I had just done the crown pull.
So that whole thing was just a demonstration.
Yeah, believe me. If I hadn't done that crown pull.
Me too, we would have been panicking.
Right. So I just want to point out to everybody that these things are really easy. They're effective, and they don't take a lot of time. So I did see one question from somebody that asked if on the video I will show how hard to tap and how long to do. Yes, I will. And what I want to say is that when you do these things like tapping the thymus and the crown pull, you want to really feel it, okay? So you want to really feel what you're doing. When you're massaging the kidneys, when you're tapping the spleen points, you want to really feel it. I'm not suggesting that you hurt yourself, but you want to really do this with some sense of vigor.
She's doing stuff.
So let's look at high blood pressure. That's a big issue for many people today, and just living on 24/7 would certainly bring up your blood pressure here. So,
Elsie, I hate to interrupt you again, but we've lost the PowerPoint.
You lost the PowerPoint?
Yeah, it's a black screen again.
It dropped again?
Yeah.
Okay. I have it up here.
Okay. If anybody wants to chime in from the chat room and let us know if they can still see it. If I can't see it, that's fine.
Yeah, the screen went black again. Okay, let me go out.
Okay.
I can't get that.
Although while you're doing that, some folks said they'd rather watch you do the demonstration, Elsie.
Yeah, for some reason, it seems to be going. Now, do you see it again?
We see you.
Nope, it's not coming up. Wow. So I'm seeing it on my screen, but I don't think it's still black screen is what I see.
Well, I can see you, so
Okay.
I don't have the black screen. I can see you.
Okay. Well. Well, while we're doing this, I will do this 1-minute meditation with everyone. And it is breathe in peace and calm. So let's have everybody, just close their eyes for a moment. And let's have you breathe in peace and calm. And breathe out stress and anxiety. So once again, take a deep breath in. Breathe out stress and anxiety. And one more time. Breathe in. Peace and calm. Breathe out stress and anxiety.
Well,
so
that meditation did work, Elsie, for us. How was it working for you?
yeah.
So why don't we, if you know the program, do you want to just talk and maybe you can demonstrate, because we're all watching you. Well, we were. The screen went blank.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what? It just came back on.
Yeah, I saw it came back on, but I don't. But anyway, it's not.
And it says breathe in, peace and calm. Breathe out.
Okay, there we go. Can everybody
Elsie,
see?
if for some reason we lose it again, why don't you just continue and we'll just listen and watch you, and you can show us.
Okay, so we just did this meditation. Maybe that's what brought it back on. So we're going to go back down. I keep getting a black screen, and I'm not clear why.
Yes, it did turn black again. But why don't you just
I'm just going to go out, and we'll go live.
Put the camera on you, and we'll just
right,
we'll just chat.
Right. So one of the other things I want to talk about, and this is sort of apropos. First of all, I want to let everybody know that I made a PDF of the slideshow, and Leisha will be able to send that out to you. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is so appropriate, is how to blow out frustration. How to release frustration. How appropriate. So you'll see the blowout, even though we don't have it on our slides. But when you feel drained or depleted or exhausted, one of Donna's most famous exercises is the blowout. And what you're doing, first of all, is making your knees very soft for your back. You're going to gather all of the energy from behind you. You're going to gather it up, bring it up into a nice tight fist, up over your head, and come down with that shh. And again, you go back behind your legs. You gather all your frustration. You bring it up into a nice tight fist, over your head, down, shh. And you, third time, gather all that frustration from behind you, bring it up, make a nice tight fist, and shh. So the blowout is really easy to do. It's very energizing, and we ought to be teaching our kids something like this that's easy to do, that's helpful. And another way, after we blow out all that frustration to enhance our energy, and this is really important, everybody, is to zip up, because we're walking around taking in so much stuff today that has nothing to do with us. So we're going to zip up. We're going to take our hands and put them together. You're going to go down to the top of the pubic bone. You're going to come straight up, and you're going to make a nice heart around you. Back to the top of the pubic bone, a nice heart around you. And a third time from the pubic bone, making a nice heart around you, and then this fourth time coming straight up to the bottom lip, locking your zipper, and throw the key away. So the zip up protects your energy. It keeps you from taking in too much energy or energy that doesn't belong to you, and that includes negative energy, electromagnetic energy, all the things around us today that are absolutely challenging. So after zipping up, it might be a good idea to tap in a little bit of joy, and that's very easy to do. We're going to come right between the eyebrows because we're at the beginning of the bladder meridian, and the bladder governs the nervous system. So I want you to bring someone to mind that, brings you joy, someone you love, or a special event, and I want you to come right between your eyebrows and tap in the joy of remembering that person, seeing them in your mind's eye, or that special event, family event that you had, and just begin to tap in a new habit, a habit of joy to the body. And finally, we're going to really calm down all of the stress with the heart smoothie. So we're going to start right by the temples. We're going to come up over the ears and pull off the neck. And again, we're going to start at the outside of the temple. We're going to come up over the ears and pull off the neck. Third time, we're going to start right at the temple, down over the ears, really pull off that neck, and land one hand over the other right above the heart. Just notice how that feels. Just feel that. So one more time, you're going to start anytime you're overwhelmed, start right here. Gently go over the ears, pull off the neck. Start right here at the temples, over the ears, pull off the neck. Right at the temples, over the ears, pull off the neck, and land one hand over the heart. A little love helps everybody. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So that heart smoothie, I also demoed on the video. And, you know, we have entered such an amazing time with quantum physics. So one other little brief meditation, 1 minute, what I call the 1 minute meditation that we can do, is just a very simple mantra, because we hear so much today about stem cells. So if you just close your eyes for a moment, and we're just going to say very calmly, I am miracle stem cells doubling every day. We know that those stem cells seem to be able to produce miracles. So we're just going to say that mantra, I am miracle stem cells, doubling every day. Again, I am miracle stem cells, doubling every day. So let's have everyone zip up with that 3-heart zip up one more time. Don't go out of the house without zipping up. Zip up several times a day to protect your energy. So take both hands, start right at the top of the pubic bone, come right up the center of the body. That's a very special energy power current. And make a giant heart. Go back to the top of the pubic bone, up, circle. Make a giant heart. A third time, a giant heart. And finally, a fourth time, coming straight up, locking that zipper, and throw the key away. Keep your energy zipped up to protect your energy. So, Leisha, I'd like to answer some questions that we might have here.
All righty.
Before we go.
Sure. I think I'm scrolling down through to see if there are any that you did not answer.
I see Mary Davis feels her energy is raising.
Yes.
Hi, Mary. Yeah. Say hello to Lou.
And everybody, well, it seems like everybody was happy to be watching you.
Okay.
Once the PowerPoint went down, because we could see you and your beautiful face and smile and watch you demonstrating the techniques. So the universe has a way of providing, right?
It certainly does. And listen, I got to tell everybody, I'm really a ham. In front of that camera, and I am a total ham. And that's why I also made that video. I just love to be in front of the camera.
Elsie, thank you so much. You know, it's these tools that you're giving us. I mean, I feel so much lighter, so much better, as I always do when I'm around you. And we feel like we're carrying the weight of the world. And just by doing these simple exercises, you do them in 5 minutes in your home. Just about anybody can do them. You know, yes. Anybody even physically challenged. And I guess what we need to do is just to remember to do them, to take that 5 or 8 minutes that it takes, and really you're getting back in touch with yourself.
Yes.
Right? And bringing such, it's just so fantastic. I'm always amazed by the simplicity and the beauty of it. So thank you so much for presenting.
Thank you, Leisha. And I just want to let everybody know I'll be doing a class this weekend called Chakra Clearing 101.
Oh, nice.
You don't need any special experience. Right at Halo Wellness in Marlton. It's on my events calendar, or you can contact me by email. And also some other events, and I see people individually and help them through transition or whatever they need, as well as I also teach Reiki classes. So I love teaching. Happy to have you invite me. I also do worksite wellness, get everybody up and moving and feeling great. And I'm 71, and I've been following Donna Eden since 2000, and I've been doing all these exercises since then. So come follow me.
Yes, and that's a good point, because I took the Donna Eden weekend workshop, and she looks fantastic, just like you do, and she defies age. She's just literally not aging.
Great.
Yes,
great.
Yeah. So, yeah. Elsie, just again, your class is going to be at Halo Wellness on Saturday at what time?
The Chakra Clearing 101 is on Sunday. From
Sunday.
I think it's 9:30 to 4:30, and if somebody is a massage therapist, there are contact hours for that. But you don't need any previous experience. Anybody of any level can do this. And it'll also be a day of healing for you.
Okay. Listen, there is one question that somebody brought up. It says, this is from Rose. Can you hear me well enough, Elsie?
Yeah. Is this the one with about the fungal infection?
Yes. The fungal infection in the
ear, naturally. So one of the things I would say, Kristen, is that I'm not sure, I don't know if you've ever heard of ear candling, E-A-R, and then the word candling, C-A-N-D-L-I-N-G. It's a very old method, if you put it into Google, I know there are people in the area that do it. I would find out about that. And also for ringing in the ears, if you take your hands and you go right behind your ears, you're right on the mastoid bone, and you tap there 10 times and stop. And then tap there again 10 times and stop. And I would do that. You may need to do that for 15 or 20 minutes. And I would do that every day for about a week and see if you can reduce the ringing in your ears. People have had success with that. So again, it's very easy, right there on the mastoid bone, tapping 10 times, stop, tapping 10 times. Just give that a try.
Well, that sounds easy enough. And now somebody has asked, do you have any other techniques for high blood pressure?
Yes, for high blood pressure, well, first of all, that's stretching your energy out, gives you space in the body so that your energy can move. And if you bring your hands together and come up and circle a number of times, that also helps. But stress is an important factor in blood pressure, diet, all of those things. So, you know, I would need a little bit more time to answer that more fully.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, don't forget to tap in joy as we leave.
We're all tapping in joy, and don't
Tapping in joy.
So I want to give your contact information. Your website is www.wellnesswithelsie.com. This will all be available on our website with the PowerPoint presentation, the Elsie's fantastic video showing us how to do these little exercises. How about the phone number, Elsie?
Yeah, my phone number to reach me is 856-988-7426. You can email me, Elsie, at wellnesswithelsie.com.
And if anybody didn't catch that, we'll have that information available for you on the replay of the webinar. So, Elsie, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for doing this. Yeah, just great stuff.
Yeah.
So just let me, again, just say thank you so much for doing it.
Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah. So for next month, on Wednesday, May 27th, don't go away, Elsie. On May 27th, we'll be having Ann McLeod-Sneath. Ann is a nurse, midwife practitioner. She's been doing women's health for over 35 years. She's going to be discussing women's hormones and the environment. So that'll be a good one. We hope you all will join us. So for tonight, we say thank you very much and have a good evening.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Elsie. Bye-bye.
Bye.